And the dramatic music ends and repeat. Well, howdy, sir.
How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, too.
Oh.
Hey, John, the name of the music piece is called It Just Got Real. It came from the folks at, oh gosh, I bought a whole bunch of stuff from them. Triune Media. It's one of their media packs, and it's a licensed piece that I can use on anything up to basically YouTube videos. I can't use it for like larger than YouTube. So I would have to relicense it at that point.
Well, what's the license for? Just for YouTube?
No, it's for any use. Like it's by like the number of viewers, and the way they scale it is kind of basically up to YouTube. So, like if you're making films or TV shows, you have to go and get a different license.
Yeah,
but those are like professional production stuff.
I've actually re-downloaded the whole library of Stream Beats last night. For some reason, I was editing a video, which we will talk about a little later, and I realized that I don't know where I put all of my music assets. I think I might have wiped them off the last time I flattened my machine. So.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have a problem there. I had my whole entire setup glitch while right after we started going live, but I figured out why it glitched. So it's all good now. Basically,
anything I have to be worried about.
No, what it was I had StreamYard open, and then I had 2 views in Twitch, one as the Patch and Switch channel and one as me as a chat moderator. All of them started video.
Oh, yeah.
And so it crashed out. It was like, error. But shall we say hi to the folks in the chat room that are showed up here in the morning?
Sure.
So what do we say? We got 5 viewers right now, and we got Absolblog and Lootly, Drapsnat, Kata, Chaos 13X, Mr. Richard Campbell, thank you for joining us, and Vizio MVP. So we got we didn't do a lot of yes. There's a Renez Radio mug. Let's shill for the larger podcaster.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So he's so
I'm
big.
Very upset though. Very upset. My wife put that mug. Well, my wife or one of my daughters put the mug in the dishwasher and they chipped it.
Nice. Yeah. No. So
Richard says it looks a little faded. It's because I use it almost every day.
Yeah, exactly. I have a coffee cup that I use every day when I'm here in the RV, and it was from this great stand called Badass Coffee, and now it's just a green mug because all the text is gone. Yeah, but that was like I got it back in 2004, 2005. So it survived.
I've I got a mug. Like, there's a conference I go to every year, or I try to go to every year. It's psconf.eu.
Yes.
And every year they have the exact same mug, but in different colors. So the more years you have, you get the whole set in like different colors.
Ah,
And it's kind of the logo is kind of engraved into the porcelain, so you can't fade out.
nice. That's kind of cool.
But inside, they always put something. So the one this year says there's a line about 3/4 down,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a line of code that says, "If not empty, keeps drinking." But it's
Yeah.
in PowerShell. It's in PowerShell language. It's actually pretty cool.
That is. That sounds. Those are the kind of mugs I kind of like. And Frothy Friday to you, Fuel Snobble, for joining. Thank you for joining us. I have a set of mugs that my dad had. How do I put it? They are back when he was on the SR-71 Blackbird.
Oh, okay. So the kinds you can't get anymore.
Correct. And they were, and he had like 6 or 8 of these things. One of them was chipped though. But yeah. Fuel, good question. That was going to be kind of one of our first subjects here. Seattle had some heavy bad heat waves this week. I don't know if it hit you all the way up there in the above the 48th parallel there, Mr. Campbell, but it got to like mid 90s to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 to 39 degrees centigrade in most of the Puget Sound Basin. And yeah, I don't do well in heat, and I don't have air conditioning because no homes, no apartments, no nothing in Seattle, unless they are very new and are in a high rise, have air conditioning. So I left Monday morning and I took the RV out to the coast, and it's been, how do I put it? It's been glorious. The highest temperature was about 78 Fahrenheit. So
that's good.
It's just been and the campground I'm at is 200 yards over the hill here, and it's the first berm of the beach, and 200 yards, and I'm in the ocean. I'm that close. Now, I also have to worry about tsunamis and all that fun stuff. But, it is what it is. You take what you can get.
Well, I don't think you're the only one. I was chatting with a film girl, Christina Warren.
Mm-hmm.
And she lives in Capitol Hill in Seattle. And she's, like you said, no air conditioning. So she basically booked a hotel room downtown Seattle for the whole week.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of at that point you've spent enough money that you could put a air conditioning in your apartment.
Yes and no. That's the problem. I have a portable air conditioner in my apartment. It just can't keep up with 90, 100 degree heat, given that our apartments aren't really made for it. Or a lot of homes, even for that matter. I can tell you, growing up, we didn't have air conditioning in my house. And I lived here in Issaquah. So, in one of the suburbs.
In my very young days, we didn't have air conditioning either, but the first thing is I live in the Great White North, so
right
when it's hot for just a couple of months, we just put up with it.
But it's gotten worse and worse over the years.
Yeah, and Mr. Campbell in BC, he's probably warm because of all the fires out there.
There's that as well. It's been yeah, Aspen Forester, I can understand that. In Seattle, for the most part, if it's older than the 90s, if it's older than the 2000s, actually, it probably doesn't have air conditioning, or somebody added like some sort of split unit that does heat, and one of those heat and cooling units.
I'm always amazed at the construction of houses in some parts of the US, like my parents' house in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Like exterior walls are like 2x4s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Very much. That ends up being, especially in warmer climates, you don't typically get 2x6. In
But
Seattle, in the Northwest and Montana, that's now the standard is 2x6 on exterior walls, 2x4 on interior.
because insulation works both ways. It keeps the house warm in the winter, but it also keeps it cool in the summer.
But most people don't recognize that. They only see the keep the heat in the winter. And so they only prep it for basically winter, trying to keep it warm in the winter instead of understanding that it is a dual purpose.
The walls are so thin. If the door is locked, if you want to break in, you might as well just kick in the wall instead of probably thinner than the door.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Like asking, yeah, and building standards. I mean, I'll say it. Building standards, like especially in the '70s in the Northwest, there was a big boom in building, and my parents were in one of the first subdivisions in an area, and it's funny. I remember growing up, you would drive down these long roads with a whole bunch of farms. Today, you go down it, it's all subdivisions.
Oh yeah.
So, and yeah, like my apartment is one of the better ones, but still, it's not good. And so yeah, I took the RV on the road. Like I gotta admit, I'm part of me is shivering a little because it's 63 degrees inside the RV right now.
So are you connected with the cell phone or with the link to the stars?
I am connected on the Starlink because I have zero coverage. If I turn on my phone here, I don't know if it'll work. It'll show SOS only. I am
So
I
you're not
am
on call this week.
I am backup on call.
So how can you be
So
backup on call when you have no cell signal?
because I'm getting cell signal on the Wi-Fi from the Starlink.
Oh, okay.
So I'm getting
But
calls and
at
pages and
least
everything. Mhm.
you still got a better connection than Joey.
I yeah, we shouldn't make fun of that. But
We
yes,
can
my
always
connection
make fun of that. Are we
now.
going to regret it later? That's another story.
Yeah. Now I will say over the past, I've been here since Monday morning or Monday afternoon. I've had 2 outages that lasted maybe 20 seconds. And I think it's basically where it couldn't pick up any signals from anything and it had to reorient and readjust. So,
I have a friend in New Brunswick, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia,
okay.
the other end of the continent
Mm-hmm.
from you, and he's had nothing but problem with his Starlink. He's like outages for days, and he's on his 3rd unit. They keep shipping him a new one.
He's also on the eastern edge of the constellation. So they're more heavy in the west than they are in the east.
Yeah.
I will point that out. Less less quality connectivity in the east than I did out west here. So I'm also on the regional I can't remember what they called it. It's the regional standard plan, regional roaming standard, where I am I get no priority on the
Okay.
satellites. But last time I did yesterday I did a speed check. I'm still getting like 80, 90 down and like 5 up, which is good enough for the work I'm doing right now.
Yep.
So, but
Oh,
it's been wonderful out here. I don't know what it is. I seem to do better in the RV, and I know Fuels Novel asked if I, abandoning a boring apartment life. I need to do some updates to the Jayhawk here, and then I think I can actually do that. contemplate it.
I just thought of something. Like you mentioned earlier in our production meeting, because we have those on this show.
Yes.
You mentioned that your apartment was at like 98 or 99 or something like that at one point this week.
Yes.
Like, I wonder what it does to, like, my office is in the basement, so it's always a little cooler. And one of my machines are there, and especially my Lenovo laptop, like the big boy over there, the P1 Gen 4.
Yeah.
With the full RTX 3080 in it. Like every once in a while, the fan goes and it starts like I shut it down most of the time if I'm not using it, because the fan will ramp up because it's overheating. And I'm in a basement in an air conditioned home. I wonder what it does to gear when you're at like ambient temperature is 98 and your CPU, and like for sake of arguments, like Ubiquiti Gear doesn't have. Well, you have the Dream Machine, the small one, right?
No, at home I have a cloud
key,
and a USG 3. And
so the fan, there's not that big of a fan in there, if any.
There is none in the cloud key.
None in the cloud key, but there's some in the little switch. Yeah,
the switches and everything have it, but I have blown out network gear due to heat a couple times where the cloud key is overheated.
I wonder, maybe if Ubiquiti is listening, first of all, I've got all Ubiquiti gear here. Dream Machine Pro, the 16 port PoE Plus. Hashtag not sponsored, but would love to be. So
would love to be, yes.
Ubiquiti, give us a call. They don't have on the portal. They have no indication of temperature in their portal for any of their gear.
No, they don't, and that is something that is I would love to have. Here in the RV, that's where I have the Dream router. I actually have a Dream router set up here, the little kind of Flexa looking device. Sorry if I just set off everybody's echoes, but
no, but you just went to full max headroom there for a second.
Oh, did I now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, lovely. But no, I have the Dream router here at the RV, and it works really good, and all my devices connect to it. I don't have to and I've got it set up. In fact, I was actually working with your boss's boss, Mr. Claus. And because I have a specific router that I use when I'm on the road that connects to other Wi-Fis. It becomes basically a repeater kind of thing, but it can join other Wi-Fis easier.
Yeah.
And then create its own private network. Because I guess the daughter going to college has devices that can't connect to the Wi-Fis. And so he's trying to figure out ways to work around it and this was one of them. And so I can plug that router into my Dream router and then connect to the campground Wi-Fi if I needed to.
I ended up, I started a little project. Where are they?
I don't know. Where are they? He just walks away, folks.
I bought a bunch of Noctua, the ultra quiet fans. This one's 120, but I bought 4 140s. That I can connect to a little board. I'm waiting for the board to come in. And the board basically plugs into just a USB charger kind of deal. And steps it down to the 3 volts that these fans actually require. Because if I plug it in directly into USB, I'm just going to burn the motor. And I've ordered a cube on Amazon as well, that you set the temperature you want it on, and when the temperature reaches that temperature, it turns on. When
Okay.
temperature goes below, it turns off. Is
Okay.
we're talking about gear and temperature.
Yep.
In the living room, I've got all of the yes, I still have a Blu-ray player.
Hmm.
It's been a while since I used it, but the living room's got the Blu-ray player, the Xbox, the set-top box for the cable company, all of that in a cabinet with a closed door because I don't want to see it.
Right.
It's all wired through the floor and the walls. I don't want those boxes laying around, but I've noticed that on warm days, like even just the top of the cabinet, you can feel the difference in heat at that end of the cabinet versus the other end of the cabinet.
Hmm.
So I want to like set on the one side away from the view. So on the blind side of the cabinet, I'm going to cut some holes at each shelf, put those Noctua fans, mount those in the cabinet, and then plug them into that little
Controller.
temperature control. So
Yeah.
it basically will turn on the power to the USB charger. The USB charger will connect to that little step down board to go from 5 volts to 3 volts, and then my Noctua fans will go on full blast. But they're the ultra quiet ones, so I'm not gonna hear the jet engine start going while
Yeah.
in the middle of a movie.
Yeah. Nope. That makes sense. What I ended up doing in my desk, because I have my network gear in my desk along with my Nook, and they were starting to have temperature issues. I ended up buying two USB based. Um, they're the smaller fans that go onto Raspberry Pis, and then drilled holes and mounted them. And yeah, it's not all automatic; they just run all the time. But I can change their speeds depending on how warm it gets. So that's how I'm controlling the weather, how I'm controlling the temperature inside my desk. Now, like this week, my Nook was shut off. I had all my everything shut down as minimum as possible. But I've been checking. I am still connected to the network because I can manage my system remotely via VPN, and it's still up and running. I still have my cameras running, so yeah, it's still there. But man, oh man, this heat, it's horrible on people and hardware, and we got
Yeah.
to take stock of it.
Yeah.
So
So should we jump into the topic of the week?
let's do that.
So we've had in the past, we did a couple of episodes on creating long form content.
Correct.
And we
And
know that there's a demand for long form content.
well, and there's a demand for a lot of people to make long form content of various types: podcasts, conversations, demonstrations. This is how to do things.
Yeah. One thing
But
we really haven't talked much about is the short form, especially in the rise of the the Twitters, and not the Twitters, but the
TikTok.
TikToks and
Mhm.
the X. And
Yes.
so we don't get
Let-
blasted or sued.
don't whatever. Technically, interestingly enough, I mean, if you go and take a look at all the trademarks, two other companies own the trademark to X right now. But depending on how it's used.
Yeah, Microsoft being one of them.
Yes, and Facebook being the other. Yeah, let's get the two most litigious companies pissed off at us.
Well, it could be worse. It could be Disney. Then they'd really be in trouble.
Oh, then they would actually have lawyers coming after them. But we digress.
I'm always worried about that Mandalorian helmet behind me.
It's recording.
And the stormtrooper taking aim at me over here.
Yeah, but that he won't hit you.
Oh no, he can't aim. He's like Rick on Call of Duty.
Ooh. Just let's refresh that user list to make sure Rick isn't around. Okay, we're fine. All right.
It's okay. I tell him that to his face, so that's fine.
True enough. True enough. But
Yeah,
you're right.
so
But you're right about short-term or short form. I mean, we had April on here talking about it a long time ago. How she was making, but she was making it specifically for short form, and she had to have special kind of setup with her phone and do it was a lot of work, frankly.
it's gotten a little better because I've been looking at it, but yes. Here's my strategy, and I want the chat. First of all, if in the chat, if you follow somebody on YouTube Shorts or on TikToks that is in the industry that you find information valuable, please put it in because I want to start following the people that are making that kind of content. Oh, Mr. Campbell, you got to fly. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next time.
See you, Mr. Campbell.
Anyway, so because I did some search on, like, let's say Azure on TikToks,
right?
And I gave up after I think it was the 30th or 35th channel that I went through and started going through the videos because it's all guys. I'm sorry, I don't mean to not be inclusive. It's all people that are spinning their training company. You want to be a sysadmin and work in the cloud, and you know how much a cloud engineer makes. Come into I'm selling classes on like. There's a lot of that, or there's a lot of content on making fun of the industry. So that's somebody that works in like networking and makes fun, like the usual kind of like funny.
Yes.
And I do mean to use the air quote because sometimes it's not very funny.
Yeah. Whereas
like they do a scene of the IT crowd.
Okay.
So you've got the voiceover of the IT crowd. Remember that show?
Yes, I do.
And say, have you tried rebooting it? Have you tried turning it on and off?
Yep.
Like, that's not, to me, that's not really valuable. It can be funny in some cases.
Right. And levity is nice at times. We know, we get it.
Yeah. But because our marketing, they're like, oh, we gotta do some TikToks, and I'm like, no. And they're like, yeah, no, we have to experiment and we have to try to do things differently. But I'm trying to see if there are any people on TikTok that are making good content, short content, that can be valuable. I'd love to be able to go through. So if you know of any that are doing it, let me know. Yeah, Ms. UMPB says noise without content. And in a lot of cases, that's what it is. I've got a few here. If I switch to this, where's our...
So I know of a couple, but they're primarily in Office 365 where... Oh, hello.
There we go. Somehow my scenes have gotten reordered. Like I've got a couple of people there that I'm looking for. But see, it's stuff like this where, like, when a reboot fixed the issues.
Yeah.
How valuable is that? Like, it doesn't. Some stuff is valuable, some stuff is not. So I'm kind of like data center Turk.
Really data center TikTok in a way.
TikTok, well, yeah, whatever. I can't read that. Sysadmin After Dark. This guy's like pretty. It's okay. Jim, the IT guy, I've like it, which is actually like short content, but some of it is good. He's got a lot of. I don't think he likes Ubiquity very much though. and I'm looking at those thinking, I'm not sure if that's anything that makes sense. And now I'm going through this guy, Daniel Batal, who I'm kind of studying some of the work that he's done, because he's created 30 YouTube shorts
Mm-hmm.
and published one YouTube short per day for
Okay.
30 days, and then looked at all of the stats in terms of engagement, in terms of subscriber gain, subscriber lost, amount viewed, where it's being viewed, where is it being shared. Like, he's got a whole bunch of different information on that, that I'm going through right now, so I can start looking at whether or not YouTube Shorts are good. The nice thing with YouTube Shorts, in my opinion, is that we're already making content here. So if there's a 1 minute segment of our show, or even the Patch and Switch show, or any of the live, if it's a live stream, and in that live stream, if you've got a 1 minute piece of information that is good, you can cut shorts from other content and then kind of like reformat it and repurpose it.
Yep. Yeah. No, I get that.
So making content out of existing content and just delivering it in a different ways to be more discoverable.
Right. So we had Frank Boucher share his link to his TikTok if you want to.
Yeah, Frank Boucher is actually, I didn't put his name down, but yeah, he's one of my teammates. He's in my org.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he does a lot of good things. He's out of Montreal. You're right. That's a really good one. I should have led with that one.
You should have.
I know there's some of our older, and I mean, when I mean older, old colleagues that have like moved on, or that do some content as well. April being one.
Yep.
Jason Hand being another one. But I was trying to see if there was like community members, not just people onto my team.
No,
my existing team. But I did say that we have there's a way that you can create. You said that you had to reformat the.
Well, a lot of times people have to format it specifically, and trying to, basically doing everything twice is kind of rough for a lot of folks. So
Yeah.
It would be really cool to be able to do it so that you could do normal video, or it's the whole vertically oriented video. I'm not a fan of vertical orientated video. I watch most of my video stuff on a TV, not on my phone.
It's because yes, but this is the orientation and format. Oh, that's my wife. That's that most people kind of consume content with now.
I understand. I'm one of the exceptions to the rule.
And it's funny because Samsung, because they've got all of those new foldables, is now trying to figure out incentive to get developers to increase or have a more of an adaptive design to their apps, so that they can take advantage of the, like, basically it becomes a square once it's open.
Yeah.
As opposed to just stretching it out to because sometimes it doesn't look very good if you just stretch out to whatever size you need.
Exactly.
Like when you have a mobile app that is basically a web wrapper, and you try to run it on a desktop, and you go, "Ooh, that looks bizarre."
Yeah, and so like I said, it as someone, I might be a video snob here because I like horizontal video. I don't like vertical video. Yeah, portrait screens for reading documents when working. Yeah, you know, it's just my personal taste. Yet I will say I fall down the YouTube short hole a lot. Even though I don't like the video format, I fall down that hole quite easily. And I understand. I mean, I've actually had evenings where it's like, oh, I start just watching a couple of videos. All of a sudden, it's 3 hours later, and I'm like, what the hell just happened to me? And it's all shorts. So,
yeah.
that's why it would be good to get some IT Pro content in that.
Well, there's a couple of things
Mm-hmm.
for creating shorts that I'm experimenting with.
Okay.
And let me switch the screen here.
Yep.
And the number one, the first one is OBS.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on this screen right now, you can see that I have my main camera. If I switch to, let's see if it's there. If I switch to my Insta360, that basically like follows me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you notice that on the right-hand side, I have a vertical.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So these scenes are created. So they're, of course, I don't have Zoom it installed.
Of course.
But in my sources, I've got my source and I got verticals. I got scenes and vertical scenes, source and vertical sources. You can map them together.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the scene, you can say link that vertical scene to this regular scene. So as you switch scenes, so if I'm going from my Insta360 to my main, it also switches my vertical. Or if I go to my side view over there, it also changes my vertical.
Nice.
Now, what that means is if I'm recording something, it records in both format.
Gotcha.
So recording in both format, now I don't need to spend time in terms of reformatting a lot of content. It's already, now I could just add some stuff like in terms of like lower thirds and stuff like that in a format that's already used.
Yeah.
I've also been looking at Clipchamp. You familiar with that?
Yes, I'm totally familiar with it.
So Clipchamp has some templates that are like the YouTube templates and social media ads. They've got all a bunch of templates, but they have some TikTok templates. So if you've got existing content and you want to put it on TikTok, and I guess the TikTok format is the same as a YouTube short format in terms of it's 1080 by 1920 instead of being 1920 by 1080.
Mm-hmm.
So vertical. So you can use some of those with the same kind of like overlays and this is free.
Wow. That's awesome.
So I've been looking at those templates, the YouTubes, the TikTok. It's got a whole bunch of stuff, but I've also been experimenting with DaVinci Resolve in terms of an editor. So I'm trying for a few projects to go to DaVinci Resolve instead of Premiere. Dennis Q wants to know if does YouTube have shorts. Yes,
it does.
And that's going to be my primary outlet, I think, because I don't know if I'm funny enough for TikTok, or I'm gonna have somebody just say, "Okay, boomer, get the hell off the platform."
Exactly.
Oh, does the YouTube have shorts in terms of on Clipchamp? I haven't gotten that far. I've just kind of noticed it yesterday when I was looking at the editor.
And you know what is really cool about Clipchamp, by the way?
No, what is it?
It's a PWA. Seriously. It's a progressive web app.
Okay.
So it can work on almost any platform that
Yes.
has a modern web browser on it.
Yes.
That's huge.
Absolutely. So
That's absolutely huge.
you can start something on your desktop and finish it on the plane with your iPad and the onboard Wi-Fi connection.
Exactly. So,
So I haven't done too much with Clipchamp, and
right.
maybe I'll do a couple projects on both Resolve and Clipchamp, and then we'll talk about, maybe that's another episode, and talk about options in editing, because that's
Yeah.
not everybody, first of all, can afford Premiere, because it's freaking expensive. In my case, if I want to do content for me,
Yeah.
like this content here is, we can sort of spin it that it's work related. Yeah, a bit of a stretch, but we could.
It is. It is.
Oh yeah, thank you. You put the link in there.
Yep.
So, but if it was strictly for me, and if I was putting it on a channel that I'm monetizing, then our moonlighting policy states that I can't use any Microsoft resources to do it,
Including software that Microsoft has purchased us.
including licenses that Microsoft is paying for. So DaVinci Resolve becomes an issue, becomes an option, because it's completely free.
The base package is completely free, absolutely free. And I have seen a lot of there's a couple of like film. I follow a channel called Film Riot on YouTube, and they show how they make things, and they rotate between, they have Adobe Premiere, they have all the major packages, so they're always kind of rotating through, but they also use DaVinci Resolve, and it is a full-on editing package.
Yes.
In fact, if you purchase a Red camera, you get a higher copy of DaVinci Resolve. You get an actually like paid for copy, like not the full camera, but it's bigger.
And something I love is, even if I decide, okay, I'm gonna spend like, what are the differences? I think it's some kind of GPU acceleration for in there, and there's a few other features that you can't do on the free copy. Nothing that stops me right now.
Right.
But for now, if I wanted to buy the full version, it's $425 in perpetuity. It's like it's not a freaking, excuse me,
subscription.
It's not a subscription.
We have to watch ourselves, because
I don't have a beep button on my end anymore.
Right. And remember, we did that. How we get paid by a lot of subscriptions, dude. So we shouldn't badmouth them.
I know, but for me, for something at home, I don't want to pay a subscription for something like that. So if I buy it once, and then I'll get all the updates in perpetuity. And it's $295 US dollars, or 425 Canuck bucks.
Gotcha.
It's not that expensive, even if you wanted to use the paid version.
Yep. Oh no, it's there's a lot of options there, and then you can add in a lot of add-ins, because it's extensible, just like Premiere.
Now, what I'd like to get your opinion on, and the chat's opinion on, is YouTube Shorts are limited to 60 seconds.
Okay. They are?
And I think TikToks are limited to, I think, is up to a couple minutes. So that actually TikToks are longer than YouTube Shorts.
I only asked.
Are you looking it up right now? Okay, let me look it up. I know I looked it up yesterday.
Right. I'm just trying to get it from YouTube because I know a lot of people are, oh, you should only do about the ideal thing is 60 seconds. And it's like, but it looks like, okay, yeah. Even on the YouTube site. I don't see any specific link to the YouTube site. How long?
I'm looking at the creating shorts, get started for creating shorts. And let me switch here. So on this page, it does say usage store, create short form video that are up to 60 seconds long.
Okay.
With our multi-camera segment, blah, blah, blah. So it's 60 seconds.
The reason why I bring that up is I have felt like I've seen some shorts that are at least 2 to 3 minutes long, but it's.
I'm trying to see whether or not that's a depending on if you've got like 1 million subscribers or if you've only got like 40 subscribers.
Yeah. Or what are we at? 3?
I don't know. Probably.
I think we're at 3.
I think we do this more for fun than for the subscribers, but
totally.
if we can bring some value to our community, that's
what we're here for.
Yeah. And John, you're right. 60 seconds is not a lot of time, especially if you want to explain a concept or give a valuable piece of information. So other than, hey, have you had this problem? There's a quick solution, blah, blah, blah. Go to the link below to find out more. Like,
yeah.
Is that valuable? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. I honestly don't know. It's interesting in that a lot of times the shorts, most of the ones that I see that are technical of nature, they make a lot of assumptions that you have some background information. And then they provide other shorts to give the backgrounds, and they'll have that linked in, like, say, oh, if you didn't understand some of the concepts, watch this. But yeah, no, I swear I've watched a 5-minute video that was a short, but like I said, that was a person who has at least 1 million, because they had a gold button. So yeah, sometimes the product name can take 30 seconds to explain.
Let me tell you about Microsoft's Hybrid Engineer Enterprise V2 2013 SP1.
Roll up 3.
Roll up 3. Click the end.
Yeah.
And Fuel's Novel says, I just want them to end.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I get that.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, is you make a series of shorts that are talking like from very general to very specific.
You could probably take different pieces and break it up, and then that's part of what I see when there's a complex that should be a 5 to 10 minute video. It should be sliced up, and it should explain things quickly. Pace has to be fast, or you lose people.
But what's the difference in making that as opposed to just making a 5-10 minute video on YouTube's?
I guess discoverability. I don't know. That's my problem. Most of the time, if I'm watching videos of a technical nature, I'm going to people's channel because I've seen them on X or Twitter. I've seen them on Blue Sky. I've seen them on Mastodon. I've seen them on Facebook.
Yeah,
I've had somebody recommend them. So,
yeah, John says I would go with the 5-minute minimum. We don't make the rules.
Yeah.
At that point, it's not a short, and it won't be picked up.
It won't be picked up by the algorithm in shorts. That's why I see a lot of times you'll see, especially in shorts, and this is the sucky part. because I'll see something, I'm going through shorts and it'll say blah 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 part 2,
Where's part 1?
and you can't get to it easy
Well, you have
because
to
of the way they've
go
made
to
the
that
algorithm.
person's profile and or channel and then start hunting down the shorts as to where the hell part 1
Yep.
is. Yeah.
That's where you need to have everything bound to that 60 seconds or whatever the length of the short or the TikTok is. But cover, and that's where you can say, okay, by the way, if you want to learn more about Azure DNS, click here,
Yeah.
I explain more. Maybe you're talking about, something else and Azure DNS comes up as part of it. So,
Yeah. And maybe say, hey, if you want to learn more, and then put a short link at the bottom.
Yep. And so that might be the best way to do shorts for technical stuff. That's the problem. It seems to me the shorts or the TikTok format, at least at the 60-second level, is all around really is all around content creators that are trying to just create quick little.
What?
Yeah, what? Mr. Notification, sir. Yes, like, subscribe, share, whatever. All right, comment. But the biggest problem is it has to be. I'm not going to go diving for someone if they've made 5 parts. I'm not. So each part has to stand on its own.
Yes. Yes. And then Visio MVP John says, like, the explanation is in part 4.
Yep. How do you
But
find
you're at part 2 and you can't find part 1.
Yep. Unless there's a way in the UI where, I know, like in YouTube, on normal YouTube videos, you could put cards in and you could say, okay, click here, and it sends you someplace. Could be any website. It could be another video.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm just getting started in my experimentation. I guess we'll have at a further episode in a few weeks or a month or whatever. Maybe I'll share the results and I'll put up, like, so if you're not subscribed to IT Ops Talk on the YouTubes, let me see if I can find the URL.
It's probably youtube.com/@ITOpsTalk.
It's something like that, yes. I know. I think I reserved IT
Yep, that's
Ops.
it.
Find it?
Yep. Just like ours is, I believe, at testing and production. I grabbed that one. When it came out that day. Yep.
Okay, so you put it there. So go in there and
Yep.
subscribe so that you can notified that when I put the shorts on, and let me know what you think. Is really what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to boost subscription here. I'm just trying to get some feedback as to whether or not it's effective, and is it worth it, or should we just continue making long-term or long form?
Long form, yeah.
And long form can mean 15, 20 minutes to an hour and a half. I've got 2 or 3 deep dives from Azure Networking that we're working on right now.
Yeah, no, that makes sense that we have those kind of videos available. I mean, what it boils down to is, how do you keep interest? I'll say it this way, personally. The videos I watch, I prefer lengths from 10 to 25 minutes. for a lot of stuff I like to watch.
Yeah.
I had someone who made a 45-minute video, even though it was something that was like, oh, that sounds like a cool thing. Oh, I saw, 45 minutes. Nope, moved on.
What about if it's 45 minutes, but it's all cut out in chapters so that you can jump right to the part that you need?
Possibly, but at 45 minutes, that's a long investment of a time. If they definitely have things in chapters where I can go find what I want to watch, okay. But this was more of a it was a gaming scenario, and instead of making a 20-minute video, they made a 45 so they could get 50, you know, commercial slots, ad slots. And I pay for YouTube Premium. I don't want all those. Yeah. John, yes, for chapters. I love it when people put chapters in their videos. I absolutely love it. I have a couple of people. There's one person I watch a lot, and his videos are in the 45 to 50-minute category, but they're once a week. He's a pilot. He talks about aircraft stuff and prior crashes and stuff. And you can always tell, though, when he has some sort of sponsor, because he won't put the chapters in. So you can skip through the sponsored section easier.
Yeah.
So I always say, guess what? I have the fast forward button. I can fast forward through the I can jump forward. I mean, I get they're trying to get their payment, but at the same time, it's like, look, I don't need to hear about Manscaped for the 50th time in a video about an airplane crash and why the airplane crash occurred.
I get that, but for some people, that's the way they earn money for ranting something.
I
Like
hear
for
it.
us,
Yeah.
well, no, I'm getting paid, so there's no monetization on our channels, so we're not putting ads and we're not taking sponsorships for
Right.
IT Off Talk, but
Or even for testing and production.
no, that's right, and well, for testing and production, we could be sponsored in terms of like gear, microphone. I'm really looking for a good shotgun mic. So if anybody out there in the interwebs wants to sponsor me, Sennheiser, please. I'd really like a nice. I'm trying to figure out a way to get this out of my face, mostly because it's in between me and the keyboard.
Got it.
So I want to try a shotgun mic right above, like connected to the right above my screen, that would be pointed down, so I get almost the same quality of sound, but without having the arm across my desk and the microphone in my face.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, I do mandate, so anybody on my team or even like Thomas Maurer, who still posts on our channel, you got to have a resource list.
Yep.
So where can they find information about the stuff we talked about? Yep. And then you have to have chapters.
Yep. And you have to follow the appropriate chapter configuration.
Yes.
So that it works with the video. Yep.
But it's pretty simple. The chapter is basically time in minutes, an hour in minutes, like hour : minutes, space, and then whatever title you want to give that.
Yep.
So
Janice Q, I really wished I actually had the capability to go to ridiculous speed. He says that my RV reminds him of the Spaceballs RV.
So which one are you, Barf, or what was the Han Solo
equivalent? Yeah, neither.
Do you have the Schwartz?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
Yep. All right. We are at the top of the hour.
We are.
I hope this discussion we were kind of thinking about, well, like what should we talk about this week? And because I was in the middle of kind of looking at shorts, I suggested that, and I thought it's a good discussion. So please let me know.
Hit them up at Wired Canuck on the X's.
Is it on the, it's Twitter.
Wired?
Like screw that. It's Twitter.
And is it Wired_Canuck on Blue Sky?
No.
Okay.
Blue Sky, I think I'm still at Wired Canuck. I think it's on the threads that somebody stole my identity, but Facebook says, "Oh, he's not violating any community guidelines." It says he's pointing to my Twitter account as in his bio. Yeah. They won't do anything about it. Shorts are good in hot weather.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, but you don't want to see me in shorts. It's not pretty.
He says. But it was excellent to catch up with you, and it's been a blast. Next week we're back to hopefully both of the boys are back for Patch and Switch. We'll see.
Yep.
I'll be finishing up my on call that Friday, so yay! I go on call starting tomorrow. So.
Ooh. So you're driving back? Oh, that's why you're driving back home tomorrow?
Yeah, that and it's lower temp in the basin. It's like back to the 70s. So it's doable. It's livable.
Well, if it gets too hot, there's an in-ground pool in my backyard that's crystal clear and probably, I think, sitting at 78, 79.
That would be perfect.
Yankee degrees.
Yep. Freedom units. Yep.
Freedom units. Yes.
In the 78, 79F. But no, this will be good. It was good seeing everybody, and we'll see you in 2 weeks back here to talk more about testing and production. If you have anything, please hit us up on the Twitter, on the on all the socials, and let us know what we can cover, because we'd sure love to cover something.
Absolutely.
But I think on that note, we should get on out of here. Don't have too much fun, everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers.